You're listening to Bedtime Stories with Meika Jay, a space to slow down, breathe deep, and fall asleep to stories that speak to your soul. Tonight's story is called Before the Quiet. So dim the lights, get comfortable, and let's begin. Close your eyes. He wrote slower these days. The words didn't come easy anymore. Not because he didn't know what to say, but because saying it out loud made it real. The letter wasn't for the world. It wasn't for friends, family, or even faith. It was for his children, the only two people who ever made him forget how heavy living had become. His name was Khalil Mercer, 42 years old, and after a lifetime of being the strong one, he had learned that strength was just another way of saying, no one ever asked if you're okay. The doctors called it chronic heart failure. Khalil called it quiet betrayal, his own body turning against him, one beat at a time. He used to be the man everyone called when something broke: a cousin's car, a neighbor's fence, a friend's spirit. He could fix almost anything except himself. The first time he collapsed, he thought it was exhaustion. The second time, he realized it was something deeper, something that couldn't be slept off or ignored. The diagnosis didn't hit him all at once. It came in pieces, like someone whispering bad news between breaths. You need to take it easy. You might need surgery. You should start thinking about what's next, they'll say. But what happens when next sounds like a deadline? Khalil didn't talk about it much. He still showed up to work until he couldn't. He still cracked jokes with his boys, still showed up to birthday parties, still pretended that the tremor in his hands was nothing more than nerves. But at night, when the world went quiet and his chest felt like concrete, that's when the truth came creeping in. He'll sit in the dark, watching the glow of the city from his window, and whisper the same prayer every time. Just let me see tomorrow. That's all I ask for. One more tomorrow. He told himself if he could just make it to his daughter's graduation, he'll be satisfied. But one goal turned into another, and before long, his whole life became a list of promises to stay alive for someone else. He wrote letters he never sent, apologies no one asked for, jokes he'll save for a day when laughing didn't hurt. He was tired, not just physically, but in his spirit. Tired of being strong, tired of pretending gratitude made the pain smaller, tired of hearing, you look good, like that meant he should be healed. So he just started to write. To my babies, if you ever wonder why I smile when it hurt to breathe, it's because I wanted you to remember me whole. I wanted you to believe that love can outlive pain. He paused, stopped writing for a moment, and just stared at a photo taped to his wall. His son's first basketball game, his daughter's first dance recital, moments that existed like postcards from a time when he still believed his body belonged to him. He remembered what it felt like to run, to dance, to lift his kids into the air without the fear that his heart would give out halfway through a laugh. Now, every step was a question mark, every breath a gamble. But Khalil was stubborn. He had survived too much to let weakness have the final word. So he did what he had always done. He smiled. When the nurse came in that evening, he cracked a joke about the food. He asked her about her weekend and complimented the flowers on the windowsill. She smiled, said she admired his optimism. He nodded, but the moment she left, his face changed. The smile fell like a mask sliding off. He stared at his hands, veins rising beneath thin skin. The color faded from his fingertips, and for a second, he imagined what it would feel like to just stop. No pain, no waiting, just stillness. He whispered to himself, I'm tired of fighting for every breath. But even as he said it, the thought of his children, how his daughter always said, Daddy, you're my hero. He used to laugh when she said it, but now it made him ache because heroes aren't supposed to die in hospital rooms. He looked back at the notebook, pages trembling under the small fan by the bed. The words stared back at him like a witness. He picked up the pen again and started writing. I won't lie to you and say I wasn't scared, but I learned that courage doesn't mean you stop being afraid. It means you keep loving the world even when it keeps breaking you. He exhales, closes the notebook. The rain outside had calmed to a whisper. The machines hummed their steady lullaby. Khalil leaned back and let the exhaustion pull him under, and for the first time in months, he didn't dream of hospitals or pain. He dreamed of running again, barefoot, weightless, alive. He could hear his children laughing somewhere ahead, their voices like echoes from a place he wasn't done reaching for. When the nurse checked on him before sunrise, the rain had stopped. The notebook was still open beside him, ink smudged from where his hand had rested. And even though his heart had finally gone quiet, there was peace in the way he looked. Because Khalil Mercer had lived his last night the way he lived his whole life, trying to make the world a little lighter for the people he loved. Some stories don't end with miracles, they end with truth. And the truth is, sometimes the strongest people aren't the ones who survive the longest. They're the ones who keep loving the world, even as it lets them go. Before the quiet came, he left behind more than pain. He left proof that even when your heart begins to fail, your love can still keep beating. Thank you for listening. I hope you're able to sleep well tonight, and I'll see you in the dark. Good night.